Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So today we are going to start a new chapter which is going to be a very small chapter but an important chapter before starting out with all the spectroscopic techniques. And the name of the chapter is Molecular Structures and Formulas. So in this particular chapter, we are going to determine how we are going to proceed to find out the molecular formula, and then after the molecular structure of any given unknown organic or inorganic compound. Not properly inorganic, but an organic compound having some of the inorganic components or having a purely organic compound. So before starting out with the chapter, we will try to understand why we need this chapter. So this chapter is going to form a basis before starting out with all the spectroscopic techniques like UV visible, IR, NMR, mass, and so many other techniques. So whenever we have an unknown organic compound, we first try to find out the molecular formula of the compound, and then after we proceed to find out the molecular structure of that compound. So for that purpose we use various spectroscopic techniques like I named them before as well, like UV visible, IR, NMR, mass, and there are so many spectroscopic techniques which we use, and we try to find out the molecular formula and molecular structure of any given unknown compound. So in this chapter we will try to find out the various ways, the various methods by which we can find out various datas, and after collecting all those datas we can find out finally the molecular structure of the unknown compound. So in this chapter we will try to analyze what are the various classical and modern techniques available with us, which we can use to find out various datas so that we are able to find out the molecular structure and molecular formula of the compound. So first we will start with the elemental analysis. So in elemental analysis we will first go for the classical procedure which is involved to find out the molecular formula of the compound. Once we got the molecular formula, then we will proceed to find out the molecular structure of that unknown compound as well. So if we talk about the classical method, then this classical method is composed of three major steps. So these three major steps are quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and molecular mass or molecular weight determination. So quantitative analysis means we are going to find out what is the amount of each atom present in that particular compound. So what is the basic ratio of each component, or you can say of each atom, which is there present in that unknown compound. So that will be the quantitative analysis, that is what is the quantity of each element present in that particular compound, or you can say the quantitative ratio of each element present in that compound. That will be the quantitative analysis. Then after we will proceed to the qualitative analysis. In qualitative analysis we will try to find out what are the various components comprised of this unknown compound, that is what are the atoms, what are the various atoms which are present in that particular molecule. For example, carbon is there, oxygen is there, hydrogen is there, sulfur is there, like any of the atoms which is comprised of that particular organic compound. So what are the atoms present in that compound? If we are able to identify that, that will be known as the qualitative analysis. After that we will move on to the molecular mass determination. As the name suggests, we will try to find out the molecular mass of the compound. So in order to find out the molecular mass, we have some classical methods and we have some of the newly developed method as well, which is known as mass spectroscopy. So in classical methods we have 3 or 4 methods which we are going to discuss. So what I recall till now is that in classical methods we were having a type of method in which we would calculate change in vapor pressure, and that was like vapor pressure osmometry. Next method was calculating change in freezing point. So using that data we can find out the molecular mass, and we had 1 or 2 more methods. So we will discuss that later on. And these were the classical methods. After that we have a very new method which we use nowadays. So this is a type of a modern method which is mass spectroscopy. So using mass spectroscopy we can find out the molecular mass of any given unknown compound. So nowadays we frequently use mass spectroscopy instead of classical techniques, but nevertheless we should have an idea as to what were the techniques which we used earlier when mass spectroscopy was not there, then how we were able to find out the molecular mass of the unknown compound. So we will discuss the classical methods in a very short way. After that we will move on to the next topics. And what about mass spectra? We will discuss that in a separate chapter altogether. So mass spectra is a very vast topic, so we will discuss that in separate chapter. So using these three steps we can find out the molecular formula of the compound, and then after we can proceed to find out the molecular structure of the compound. So this will be the three steps. So these are the three steps which we have to follow. After that we will be left with 3 or 4 main topics, and after that the chapter will be over. So this is going to be a very small chapter, but it is going to form a basis before starting the spectroscopic techniques. So this is very important chapter as well. It is going to form the basis, so stay tuned for the other videos. Go through them. It is not going to be a very difficult chapter, but you will understand before starting the spectroscopic techniques that why you need to have those spectroscopic techniques in your mind, and why we need to find out various steps which are involved in the determination of the molecular mass, and how we are going about this path, how we are about to follow this path so as to we arrive to the conclusion that we have the molecular formula and the molecular structure of any given unknown compound. So I hope till now everything is clear, and this video is going to be helpful for you. This series is going to be helpful for you. So far that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.